Now, since you already explored how the graph is like shifted, now we're going to look at it graphically. So what's happening to the graph? So first is our parent function is y equal absolute x, right? So absolute, we're going to put that absolute, where is absolute function? Absolute of x. So this is the function we have first. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you what's happening when I multiply by 2 to this function. Y equal 2 times absolute x. So now let's look at it. What's happening to this absolute x? What's happening? What do you observe in this graph?
You got smaller?
Right, like it's shrinking like that, right? So that's one thing. Now let's look at it. Same graph here and plus 1. So the entire graph is moved up. You see that? So if I take this one down, and I can see this graph is happening this. So they shifted 1 unit up. So that is called shifting. And from the parent function to this function, we have a shift is happened. Okay? So that is the reason you see a times 2 and plus 1. So we're going to have more mathematical terms on this one. We will learn that one, how it is transformation happens. Okay? So the next question is, we have gx equal x minus 4, and it's a parent function. So describe the transformation. So what's happening? So first of all, for this question, the parent function is y equal x, or the gx equal x. Okay, so that's a parent function.
Anna, can you get me to?
Sure, I can do that. Just a minute.
I'm gonna do two. I'm gonna do.
If you can write it, just use that annotate button. Let's see if that works out there. Base function is, the parent function is y equals x. So y equals x means x, we're going to take some values and then we solve for the y. So I'm going to go with the same numbers, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Okay. Now if I plug in these numbers, if x is -2, y is going to be -2 also. They agree? And -1, 0, and 1. So for this one, if I graph this, I'm going to get a straight line passing through 0, 0. But next one is, this is the translation function. I'm going to graph this and see what happens. Or let's find the table for that. X minus 4. So if I do that, this is x and this is y. Now let's take the same numbers. Now tell me what is the outputs from here. What are the outputs I get?
Would be -6.
There you go.
-5. -4.
Good.
And -3.
-3. So these are the values we get. So if I plot these points, I want to see how the graphs are going to look like. Okay. So let's go to the graphing paper. So I'm going to clear this. First one. The first one is just x, right? That's the first graph, y equals to x. But the next one we have here is x minus 4. So let's look into that one, x minus 4. So what happened to this graph? What do you observe?
It went a bit further down.
That's right. So it went down. I'm going to write it down. Went down. But how many units though?
4.
Down by 4 units. Okay. So how do I know? Because I look at in the graph, I can see that went down by 4 units. But how could I tell from the graph? Because y equal x minus 4, right? I know my parent function is y equals to x, but I see that extra -4, it's kind of like tells me what's happening to my graph. My graph is going to go 4 units down. Down vertically. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's happening to the graph. So those are called transformations in Algebra 2.